For 3 bewildering months, the children of Sterling Meadows stopped playing. They simply stood, silent and unmoving, staring at something no adult could perceive. This wasn't a game, not a prank, and certainly not normal. It was a mystery that settled over our quiet suburban enclave, chilling us to the bone. My name is Sarah, and I was one of the first to notice. Sterling Meadows, with its perfectly manicured lawns and identical houses, had always buzzed with the joyful chaos of children. The laughter, the shouts, the endless sound of scraped knees on pavement. That was the constant soundtrack of our lives. Then, around 3 months ago, it all stopped. The silence descended like a suffocating blanket. My own daughter Lily, who once never sat still, was now just still. She'd come home from school, drop her backpack, and walk straight to the front yard. There, she would stand, perfectly motionless, her posture unnaturally rigid, her gaze fixed somewhere in the middle distance. Not at a house, not at the sky, not even at me. It was a vacant, unseeing stare, as if she was looking at something just beyond our own field of perception. Something we, as adults, were simply not equipped to see. Initially, we parents dismissed it. "Kids are weird," we'd say, forcing a laugh that never quite reached our eyes. We joked about a new bizarre social media trend, like planking or the mannequin challenge, trying to rationalize the unsettling stillness. But the game never ended. Day after day, from the moment the school bus pulled away until the streetlights flickered on, they would assume their positions. Attempts to engage them were met with a chilling, absolute silence. They didn't respond to their names, to questions, to pleas. They just stood and stared. The unease in Sterling Meadows began to curdle into a palpable fear when we started noticing the patterns, realizing this wasn't just my Lily or my neighbor's son. This was happening to all of them. I started a thread on our private community forum, tentatively titling it Concerning Behavior, Elm Street, hoping for a simple explanation. Within hours, it exploded. Dozens of replies poured in, parents sharing grainy, shaking cell phone videos of their own children standing motionless for hours. The evidence was mundane, yet utterly terrifying. My stomach dropped when I saw the video of little Emily Jenkins. She was in her driveway, wearing a bright pink dress, her face completely devoid of expression as a light rain began to fall. The drops plastered her hair to her forehead, soaked her dress, but she didn't flinch. She didn't shiver. She just stood there, a small pink statue in the gathering gloom. That image, of Emily standing utterly still in the pouring rain, became an iconic, haunting symbol of our nightmare. This wasn't a game. It was something else entirely. A true horror playing out in real time on our quiet streets. This growing collection of digital artifacts felt like something ripped from an analog horror series, where the everyday is corrupted by an unseen, insidious force. Desperate for answers, some residents started pointing to environmental factors. Had there been a chemical spill? Was there something insidious in the water supply? A local hobbyist with sophisticated audio equipment claimed to have recorded a low-frequency hum throughout the neighborhood, a sound imperceptible to most adults but potentially affecting the children. He posted the audio file, heavily amplified. It was a deep, resonant drone that, once you heard it, seemed to vibrate in your very bones, a constant, unsettling thrum beneath the surface of our quiet lives. But tests on the water, air, and soil all came back negative. No anomalies were found. The hum, others argued, was just the ambient noise of any suburb. Distant highways, power lines, HVAC units. The rational explanations were becoming less and less convincing as the phenomenon evolved in disturbing ways. The children began to synchronize. Without a word, without any visible signal, every child on a single block would slowly, mechanically, turn their head in unison, tracking something unseen across the sky. It was as if an invisible conductor was guiding them, their movements perfectly aligned, their vacant eyes following a shared, hidden path. This synchronized tracking defied the theory of a shared game or mass hysteria. There was no leader, no instigator. It was a spontaneous, collective action that hinted at a shared stimulus invisible to everyone else, a silent directive only they could perceive. It was this detail that cemented the situation as one of the most unsettling, eerie stories to emerge from suburban America. Skeptics outside the community proposed a form of collective consciousness, or a shared delusion, a psychological event triggered by some unknown stressor within the isolated social bubble of Sterling Meadows. It's a plausible, if unsettling, explanation, but it didn't account for everything. Why only children between the ages of 6 and 11? Toddlers were unaffected, still babbling and playing, and teenagers seemed immune, often seen watching the younger children with a mixture of fear and confusion. The phenomenon also had a sharp geographic boundary. Kids living just one street over, outside the official Sterling Meadows development, played normally, oblivious to the silent vigil just blocks away. It was as if an invisible, impenetrable wall contained the effect, a boundary no adult could see or comprehend. Our community, once open and friendly, became insular and paranoid. Curtains were drawn tight, and the neighborhood watch, once focused on petty crime, was now just a network of frightened parents monitoring the silent, staring children from behind their windows, desperate for a change, for an answer, for anything. The tension was suffocating, every moment a silent scream. Then, as abruptly and mysteriously as it began, it stopped. One Tuesday afternoon, as I watched Lily from my kitchen window, she just blinked. Her eyes focused, a flicker of confusion crossed her face, and then she turned, looked at the swing set, and ran to it, picking up exactly where she'd left off, as if no time had passed at all. The other children did the same. They looked around, seemingly confused, and then simply went back to playing, their laughter once again filling the air, as if nothing had happened for the preceding 3 months. They had no memory of it. To them, no time had passed. Sterling Meadows is quiet again, but the silence is different now. The sound of children playing has returned, but it no longer brings unadulterated joy. It's a fragile, nervous sound, a constant, haunting reminder of the suffocating silence that came before. It's a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying things are those we cannot see, cannot explain, and cannot forget. What do you think happened in Sterling Meadows? Share your theories below. If you appreciate deep dives into this kind of realistic horror, consider subscribing to the channel for more content.